Welcome back to my next playthrough series. This time I'm going back to Shadow Rift. This time we're going to be taking on the Necromancers. Once again, I did the Necromancers with the first edition. This is, of course, the second edition of Shadow Rift. And so I'm not going to go over how to play or the details too much. We are going to look at the Necromancer. And then we're going to just basically set up the game. I have everything set up as per the Necromancers according to the book. So the things we will look at is we will look at the 8 cards that are purchasable in the game, and then we will do the rest of the setup. And I'll probably do the first turn for this episode. And unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time the next couple of weeks, so these episodes are going to be pretty sporadic. Like every few days, every couple of days, whenever I sort of get a chance to film. So I apologize for that in advance. Alright, so let's take a quick look at the Necromancers and see what they're all about. Alright, so here's the Necromancer's Divider card. It says the Necromancers come from the lands of the dead. Perhaps once human, they are now anything but. The veil between our worlds is parted, and through they creep, and in kind many of our people part the veil and enter into their world. So Necromancers turn your corpses to zombies. You'll need to keep your streets clean, or better still, your people alive. So we place the 4 zombie cards face up in the monster special card slot, which I've done at the top of the board. Zombies are only added to the monster deck through the add a zombie effect on some of the monster cards. Zombies are worth 0 heroism when you kill them, and return to the zombie stack in the monster special slot when they are slain. Alright, let's take a look at the 8 cards we can purchase, and then I think we're going to finish setting up, which is basically going to be part of the very first turn. Alright, so these are the 8 cards we're able to purchase from the hero stacks. We have Bamboozle costing 3 prowess. Once per round you may discard a villager from play to gain a coin. If it's an infiltrator, put it on the bottom of the travel deck instead. That's pretty cool, and you can pay 1 prowess to keep it face up in your play area. Then we have Brawler. Once per round, you may look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You may put 1 wound or attack found this way into your hand. Once again, you can pay 1 prowess to keep it in play during the cleanup, costing 3 prowess. We have Blessed Smite. It does 2 melee damage. If you fuel it with a magic card, it's draw a card, then each hero may heal a wound from in hand to draw a card. We have Wild Charge, 2 melee damage. You gain an extra wound. Okay, well that's not great. If you use +2 prowess, it does an extra damage. If you do another prowess, if the attack kills the monster, do not gain an extra wound. That's pretty cool, costing 4. Then we have Thieving Strike, which is, and if I should say Blessed Smite and Wild Charge are a full action. You're only allowed to do 1 full action on your turn unless you have a townsperson, which allows you to have more, like the mayor. So Thieving Strike, full action, costing 4, 1 melee damage. If you're not the first hero to attack this monster this round, gain a coin instead of a wound. That's pretty awesome. Revitalize spell. It has the magic attribute. A hero of your choice heals a wound from in hand, and if you power it with another magic ability, each hero heals a wound from in hand or draws a card. We have Rousing Speech, a full action. Each other hero draws a card. If a monster has died this round, you may play an extra action card. Cool. And if you pay a gold, another hero gains a might, putting it on top of their deck, costing 4. And our loot relic card, or loot card, Elixir of Life. Once per round, you may pay a gold to draw a card and heal a wound from your hand. You may discard this loot from play to return a corpse in play to the corpse stack. That is pretty good. Loot remains in play during cleanup, so that just stays out as a power available to you basically for the rest of the game until the loot gets discarded. If you discard it, you can put a corpse back. Alright, that's the cards we can buy. I think we're just going to finish up the setup, which is basically going to take us right into the first turn, and that's probably what I'm going to be doing for this episode. That's about all the time I've got for today. Alright, so let's begin. Let's hope I can have better luck this time. So once again, we have player 1 and player 2. Doing a 2-player game, and we are going to be drawing 5 cards. We start with 7 prowess, 1 explore, 2 strike cards in our hand. And that's how we start the game. So this is player 1. We're going to be drawing up 5 cards for player 1, and player 2 likewise. 5 cards. Alright, so let's have a look. So the first step here, of course, is draw cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For player 1, they have prowess, prowess, explore, prowess, and prowess. Alright, and 2, 3, 4, 5 for player 2. It's prowess, 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 prowess. Ooh, 5 prowess. Not bad. That's a pretty good start, I think. Alright, so what's the next step? Well, the next step is refresh the town. So what I'm going to do for the town, we're going to be putting out 5 townsfolk. I'm just going to shuffle the town deck. These are all good townspeople right now. We don't have any infiltrators in town or corpses or zombies yet, and I'm sure that will happen. Alright, so shuffle the town, and then we're going to get 5 townsfolk. So we'll do it this way. We're going to get the farmer, which is aid, use as 1 prowess. Wow, that is really cool. So, and we get to use all of them, unlike the first edition. We have the smith, pay 1 gold when attacking to deal +1 damage. Well, that's not going to come in handy this turn because we don't have any monsters in play. We have a guard, reaction, when another town card would be killed or broken, a guard dies instead. Okay, we have a town guard. We have the mayor. Aid, you may play an extra action, full action card this round. And, well, once again, I don't think we have many full actions. We have none, basically. And then we have the stonemason. Aid, you use when buying a wall to reduce the cost by 2 gold. Alright, so to a minimum of 0 gold. Alright, that's the townsfolk we got out to help us for this turn. So yes, 2 ways to win the game. One, I've shuffled 2 Shadow Rifts into the Shadow Rift deck, the red deck up there. If we can close both Shadow Rifts without having all infiltrators or corpses in town, we'll win the game, which is pretty awesome. And ways to lose. Well, if you get all corpses and infiltrators in your town, you lose. And that's really about the gist of it. Alright, we've got the seal card, which I didn't talk about, but we know about that from the other playthroughs as well. So we've refreshed the town. Now we have to refresh the travelers. Well, in the traveler deck is 4 infiltrators, and the rest are useful travelers. So let's see, give this a shuffle, and we're going to see who we get, who is traveling by our village. Well, the first traveler we have is the princess. Okay. Each hero chooses to either gain a might to the top of his or her deck or draw a card, costing 3 gold, 4 influence. I don't know if we can suck the princess into our village. And the next one, the witch, costing 4 influence. Aid, use as a magic. I always like the witch. That extra little bit of magic that we can use on our turn is so good. Alright, that's our travelers. Next up is number 4, Monsters Act. Well, there are no monsters. And then monsters gain power. It's a 2-player game. That's 1 power per player, up to 2. And yes, we should be adding monsters. This should be revealed. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle the monster deck. Oh, I can't shuffle it because I've already put 1 Shadow Rift in the bottom, 1 Shadow Rift in the top. I have pre-shuffled all this. I don't know what's what. So our top monster here is going to be a ghoul. He's worth 2 heroism if you kill him. He's also worth 2 monster power if he gets to the end. He does cost 4 power to be put into play. He has 7 health. So we only have 2 power at the moment. So we won't be adding this monster. It's going to stay on top of the deck. It's an undead, of course. Heal 1 each round per zombie player. So it's not even in play. Okay, so it will heal per zombies in play. But there won't be any. So if it gets to stage 1 monster, stage 1, it'll kill that type of hero, which will be a guard hero. Add a zombie if a guard dies this way. Ooh, okay. If it gets to stage 2, it's going to kill a book hero. The witch is, I guess, a book hero if the corpse is in, if a corpse is in play, and kill one of the crown symbol, like the mayor. And then rampage. Rampage means it's going to go popping back to the monster start area. So we have a ghoul possibly coming up. Maybe if we get another 2 more power added. So now it's Heroes Act. And what we're going to do for Heroes Act, heroes can act in any turn order they'd like. They can act simultaneously, sort of. So I'm going to come back and do some thinking. So let's just recap a little bit here. We've got prowess, prowess, explore, and 2 more prowess for player 1. And player 2 is really nice. Got 1, 2, 3. He's got 5 prowess. So I'm going to have to take a look at the cards here. And I'll be right back, and we'll decide what player 1 and player 2 want to do. Oh my god, this is such a brutal game for thinking about what I want to do. Well, the first thing I'm going to do, actually, is we're going to have player 1. Player 1 is going to play Explore. Look at the top card of the Traveler deck. You may put it on the bottom of the deck. So we can look at it, we can put it on the bottom of the deck. We could also pay a gold to put the top card of the monster deck on the bottom. So I could put the Ghoul on the bottom, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to go ahead and play Explore, which means we're going to look at the top card of the Traveler deck, and it's the Baker. 8. Each hero heals a wound from in hand, costing a gold for influence. So the Baker is going to go back to the top of the deck, because I don't want to put him on the bottom. Man, so many hard decisions to make in this game. I really want the Witch. I also want to buy a Seal. What to do? Yeah, I think I'm going to take 1, 2, 3. I think we're going to take the 4 prowess for player 1, 4 prowess, and oh man, I don't know. We can also use the farmer to give us 5 prowess, and with 5 prowess we could get blessed. You know what? I think so many hard decisions. So we're going to take the 4 prowess for player 1. We're going to use the farmer. So I'm just going to flip, I'm going to put the farmer in the discard right now, so I remember I've used the farmer. That gives us a total of 5 prowess for player 1, and with 5 prowess for player 1, player 1's going to go ahead and get a Blessed Smite, which is 2 melee damage. If you play the magic with it, you draw a card, then each hero may heal a wound in hand to draw a card. So there's that. And then we're going to go to player 2. Player 2 also has 5 prowess. With 5 prowess, player 2 is going to, let's see, none of the other cards are going to do us really any good. I think we're going to, oh boy, I think we're going to go ahead. I think player 2 is going to get a might. No, you know what, we're going to, oh man. I think, yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get 1 might card. No, we're not. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to get, yes, I'm going to get a might card for player 2, costing 2 prowess. That's going to go in the discard pile. We're also going to get a bamboozle card, costing 3. So that's going to go in the discard pile. And that's going to be everything played for player 1 and player 2. So then we're going to discard all of our cards played at the end of the turn, which is the cleanup phase. And the cleanup phase now means all of the townsfolk we didn't use, which was basically the rest of them, are going to go into the discard pile. And the travelers, I wanted the witch, but oh man, you just can't have everything. These guys are going to go upside down on the bottom, or no, they just go face up on the bottom of the traveler deck. So let's put the witch on top, because I think we can put them in any order we'd like. Alright, that's basically the cleanup phase. So we're going to, I guess we've got enough time. Just check the time here. Maybe we'll do 1 more turn. Yeah, we've got enough time. We've got enough time, so we're going to start by drawing cards. So player 1 draws 5 cards. They have 5 cards. They have strike, prowess, prowess, strike, prowess. Okay, that's our hand for player 1. And then player 2 has prowess, prowess, explore, strike, and strike. So we've got some pretty good punching potential there as far as attacks go. We're going to refresh the town. Well, what we do with refreshing the town, we're going to put 5 new townsfolk. We have a guard. Okay, we know what the guards do. We have the trader. Aid, reduce the cost of a traveler by 2. Prowess, or alternately discard a loot from play to gain 2 coins. We have no loots in play, but we could just make a traveler cost 2 less. With another guard, lots of guards popping into town here. The merchant, aid, gain a coin. So we're just going to be able to gain a coin from him. And the woodsman, aid, use as 2 prowess or 1 gold. Resources gained from woodsman cannot be used to make a purchase. Cannot be used to make a purchase. Okay. Well, we could use the 2 prowess from him to gain a gold coin. That would work. Alright, that was refreshing the town. Now we refresh the travelers. The 2 travelers we're going to get are, of course, the baker. We knew he was on top. Aid, each hero heals a wound from hand, costing 1 gold and 4 prowess. That's pretty good. And our second visitor is the Fletcher. Aid, add 1 damage to a ranged attack. If a wall is in play, add 1 additional ranged damage. Well, we don't have any walls in play, obviously, but he's costing 2 gold, 3 prowess. Now, monsters act. We have no monsters in play. They're not going to act. Monsters gain power. Well, here's where our monster power goes from 2 to 4, because we get 2 per each player. After monsters gain power, add monsters. Well, now we are going to add our first monster, because this monster cost 4 power to add. So we will lose the 4 power back to 0, but this monster is going to go into the start spot where monsters start. It's going to heal 1 each round per zombie in play. Right now there's no zombies in play. It's got a health of 7. So we're going to put him there. He'll move down the next time monsters act. So that was add monsters. And now it's heroes act. So now our heroes get to play cards. And so I'm going to have to do a little bit of thinking and looking at what we have here. And see what we want to do. Well, I think we're just going to go ahead and use the townsfolk right away. So our merchant says, aid, gain a coin. Doesn't matter who plays them, we're just going to be getting 1 coin. So we end up getting 1 coin, basically for nothing, from the merchant. Aid, use as 2 prowess. So the woodsman, here's how we're going to do this. The woodsman is going to be giving, but you can't use it to make a purchase. Oh, we can't buy something with him. But we can use the 2 prowess to get a gold, or 1 gold. Resources gained from the woodsman cannot be used to make a purchase. Well, how do you ever use them if you get a gold coin? What would you do? Oh, maybe that's for healing purposes. Use gain 2 prowess. I'm not quite sure. I'm going to have to just double check on how that's going to work. If you can't make a purchase, because anything you can get is a purchase, I think. So let me just double check that and come right back. And of course, before I forget, we should be flipping over the deck of cards immediately. When we do the add monsters, you immediately flip it, because we do have some 0 cards. Shadow Rifts are 0 cards. So the Soul Thirster comes out, and he is going to, once we get to 5 power, he's going to pop onto the scene. I'm not going to read all the details or worry about him when we have to. All right, I looked up the woodsman. What we can use the woodsman for, and I think we are going to do that right now, is I think we're probably going to go ahead and do this. It says, look at the top card of the Traveler deck. You may put it on the bottom of the deck. So we're going to start by doing that for player 2. Player 2 is going to look at the shadow card, and it's a young hero, so we're going to keep him. We don't want to put him on the bottom of the deck, but we are going to use the Woodsman's 1 coin ability, we'll put him in the discard, to pay for this ability on the card. Put the top card of the monster deck on the bottom, because we want to get to the Shadow Rifts as soon as possible. This guy's pretty nasty, so we're going to just put him to the bottom of the deck, and we get, okay, we get a Hasty Creation. 2 power. Well, he's going to be coming out next time. Undead. The first melee attack against Hasty Creation each round deals +1 damage. Ooh, so he's giving us an extra wound. Then he's going to try to start killing people. Put Hasty Creation on top of the monster deck. Heal a damaged monster 1. Ooh, so when we get to 3, put Heavy Creation on top of the monster deck. So it just keeps coming back, almost like Rampage, but it goes back to the top of the monster deck, not back to the monster start area. I think that was probably not a bad idea for Explorer. Okay, we don't really have anyone else. We do have the Trader. Reduce the cost of a Traveler by 2 influence. By 2 influence. So we can get the Fletcher, or we can get the Baker. I think we might want to get the Baker. So 1 melee damage, 2 prowess. This attack is ranged instead. Well, because I've got 2 of them, we have here, we've got 1, 2, Yeah, we've got 3. Okay, well, what are we going to do? Okay, here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have player 1 is going to take 2 prowess. They're going to spend it, and they're going to spend it to get 1 gold coin. Or are they? No, they don't need to spend it for 1 gold coin. Never mind, never mind. I'll continue going on with player 2. So player 2 has got 2 prowess. With 2 prowess, they're going to spend the 2 prowess. Are going to pay it. They're going to actually get a might. They're going to get a might card costing 2. So the might card is going to go down costing 2. They have 2 melee strikes. We're going to do both melee strikes against the ghoul. It doesn't matter how many melee strikes you do against an enemy, you take 1 wound. So we're going to do 2 damage against the ghoul. So I'm just going to put dice on them. 2 damage against the ghoul of 7 health, but we are going to take 1 wound card, and there's a huge stack of them for player 2 because he did the 2 damage. He's basically played all of his cards, you can't do anything else. Alright, over we go to player 1. Player 1 is going to use the ability, reduce the cost of a traveler by 2. So we're going to use the trader to reduce the cost of the baker by 2, or do we want the Fletcher? Oh man, this is so... Yeah, let's get the baker. The baker's only going to cost 2 prowess and 1 gold now, so we'll spend that. And we'll spend our 1 gold to recruit the baker into our village, because this is only going to be 1 gold and 2. So the baker now joins our village from traveling. What's left for player 1 is 1 prowess, which you can't spend for anything, but he does have 2 strikes. He's going to do the similar thing player 2 did. He's going to do 2 damage to the ghoul, taking it to 4 damage of 7 health, and getting a wound in the process into the discard pile. So all that's left, the 2 guards in town, 1 prowess for player 1, and player 2 has already played everything. Alright, so we've played everything we can do. It's time now to discard all of our cards. It's the cleanup phase, so we discard all cards played. So basically player 1 and player 2 have no cards remaining. And then when we come back in our next episode, I will be shuffling up the total discard pile for player 1, player 2, because they don't have any cards in their draw piles. And we'll be starting another round. Oh, and cleanup means, yes, we're going to discard the town deck as well, and we're going to discard the Fletcher. Is just going to go to the bottom of the Traveler deck. So that's going to be the end of my playthrough for today. Like I said, it's going to be a slow playthrough, coming out every few days, 2 or 3 days or so. So thanks so much for watching along. Thanks for your comments, subscriptions, and likes. This is Shadow Rift 2nd Edition. We're playing against the Necromancers. We've got to get 2 Shadow Rifts sealed or build all 8 walls, not including the Tanglewood Rampart. So thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next episode.